Are you going to sell this car or keep it?
I'm gonna sell it.
Anything's for sale at the right price in my book, pretty much all. Alright, let's go for a ride. This is an original paint car, right?
Yep.
And
You want to do a little bit of video before
sure.
we go for a ride?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just maybe somebody didn't see that other one or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this car has had about 40,000 views on my YouTube.
That's 61, almost 62,000 miles on it.
See, and I had somebody ask me if I was putting air in my Bel Air, and I said no, I'd never use it. These floor vents down here.
Yep, they kick out a lot of air.
Oh, they're awesome. I love them. And I always have them open. This has dealer installed AC.
The only bad part is it took the place of the tack. There used to be a tack sitting right here.
Oh yeah, you can see where they're mounted.
And I don't know where the tack is. Not that it would matter. I mean, if you can't put it where it's supposed to be, I don't know what would be the... But yeah, this thing made it through its whole life without some teenager ripping the radio.
It's amazing when you find old cars that the dash isn't butchered up. Most of the time when I find them, you know, people have added gauges or changed their radio, and dashes are always cut up. So when you find a nice clean one, that's nice. We'll get an under hood too again.
Let's do the trunk real quick. I'm in the process of putting a return line, so I got another sending unit, so that's why the spare tire's out.
Okay.
Notice in the last video it had the original spare and everything in there. So I just wanted to get access to this one. That's the original, and I've got
sending unit.
I've got a sending unit with a return line because these things have vapor lock problems.
Well, you know, the factory air cars
That's
had a return
yep,
from the fuel pump.
Yep. So that's...
Yeah, this car's clean.
So I got the lines and everything. I just got to get it up on the hoist and put them in. This is going away. You know, this is part of my experimentation. The problem I had with this thing is it ran great until you parked it. And you park somewhere for, say, like, you know, 20 minutes or something. Well, that fuel pressure, that heat soak would get in there, and the fuel pressure would build up and would blow past the needle valve. You know,
flood the engine.
Yep. So this was an experiment that I tried to. So that's going away. But I've got the way these were set up, the split off going, see, oh, they don't even have that thing tightened on there, but the
second outlet on the filter.
Second outlet is how it traveled back
to the tank.
Right, so that's gonna.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize.
I know that looks cheesy right now, so just ignore that.
Okay, that doesn't exist. But a lot of people don't realize in this era, when they did air condition a lot of cars, the fuel filter was different because they did have a separate outlet, so the excessive pressure could return to the tank and prevent fuel vapor problems. It kept the fuel system a little cooler too, so you didn't have the boiling of the gas. And you got a, looks like a meringue power brake booster in this. There's that looks like a York compressor. Yeah, it is. It says York right on the front of it. The Tecumseh was just a little different style. Yeah, alright. Nice clean under the hood too. So somebody wants to play wallet whip out and take this car, they'll see what they're getting. T3s. Those you got one T3 on the high beam on this one's a T3. That's a replacement. Okay, let's go for a little ride. This is awesome to sit in. the old stickers on the back
So
window.
you like my headliner? Did you see that other headliner that was in it? It was
Uh-uh.
all crumbling and falling apart.
So this is all new?
I put it in. Well, I had somebody, this is a 5-piece headliner. It's not a normal bow type headliner. It's, these are panels. And had a lady in Utica. She glued them up for me, and then she resold the visors for me.
Did a really nice job.
Yeah, she did. And then I took it out and installed it. So I would never do it again, but it looks pretty darn good. I was pretty happy with the way it came out.
Looks awesome. Is that all original style material?
As original as I could pick out.
Oh my God! Like, are those side panels still original?
No.
The side panels are done too.
No, the sail panels, all that are.
Because they look identical, and it's like if you were matching it, you did a great job.
No, those are. The material was like, being that these are like panels rather than like a bow, like a stretched bow material. These are panels, and it was just like totally disintegrated. It was almost reminded me of crepe paper. I mean, if you touched it, it would just
fall apart.
Yeah.
Huh. So this has a clock, it has a fuel gauge, but everything else is an idiot light.
Yeah. And this does have this speed minder on it, and it does work too.
My grandparents' 66 Buick had the speed minder, I remember. My grandpa was a leadfoot too. He would sail at 80, 90 miles an hour. He was coming down to visit once, and he said he was doing about 70 in a 55 zone, and the state police tried to pull him over for miles. And then he didn't give him a ticket. He never had a moving violation, but he was a leadfoot. And he always drove Buicks, always.
Alright. And you'll see this transmission shifts just like that Electra. You won't feel a gear change. Nothing.
Wow.
Isn't that weird?
This thing's really nice. It has pretty good pickup. You weren't even really stepping on it. No slapping the steering in this car either.
Still has all the drum brakes, has the aluminum fin drums in the front, just like the Electra does too. It
has aluminum fins too.
Yep.
Hitting 75 there. This thing's as smooth as silk. Has this got radials or bias plies?
Radials.
That makes all the difference in the world in handling.
Yeah.
That was the best thing they ever did to cars, is coming out of the radial tires. That's a transistor.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I got that antenna down, so is probably not getting the greatest reception right now.
See, it says Delco all transistor, and those were civil defense. Here, let me turn it down so I don't get too much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Right.
but you would tune to there or there to see where
really?
you had to go to the. That was the civil defense.
I didn't know that.
Back in the day, you'd tune to there or there to find out where you go to shelter if there's a nuclear attack. My Bel Air has that on the
Memphis
radio
cop.
too.
This Memphis cop, he's pretty cool because he sees me driving that Cadillac all the time, and I've got 59 plates on it. And he's never messed with me. You know, they could by rights.
Yeah.
I mean, today that's one of the days you supposedly do a car show or Sundays.
Oh, I think that you're just supposed to have another registered car for your everyday car. You just can't use them to drive back and forth to work and every day. Hell, that 60 Chevy I had, they had authentic plates. I drove it every day. I drove it to and from work, everything. I worked at Jerome Duncan Ford at the time. He was driving my Chevrolet back and forth to the Ford dealer.
If you were driving like a rusted out 85 T-Bird or something with your, they'd probably pull you over.
Yeah,
if you got
totally.
A legitimate classic.
Yeah, that 60 I had was in really nice shape.
I'll go up here and turn around.
Is that junkyard still up here, that Mopar junkyard?
I don't think so. I think I know where you're talking about.
Yeah.
That was actually at one time an AMC dealer.
Was it? AMC dealership? Yeah, they had a lot of Mopars in there. Whenever I needed Chrysler parts, that's where I always went.
There was a giant steel hull, looked like a tugboat sitting in there. I think it was huge for many, many years. They moved that out of there. This guy always has a bunch of old cars sitting here, right on the left here. He's got a couple things covered up there.
Yeah.
Well, mostly like 70s Cadillacs, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It was originally an AMC dealer, like back in the 60s.
Yeah, that was. It's changed quite a bit.
Now it's a veterinary clinic.
Is it? So I went from an AMC dealer to a junkyard to a vet.
About 10 years ago, this place got busted because they were growing marijuana in here.
Really?
Yeah. Because it's got 3-phase power in there.
That's fully legal now. They could do it legally.
Well, it wasn't then.
Yeah. Did they seize the building? Is that why it's...
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened with that.
Can't get over how well this car runs. Really gets up and goes. I mean, it sinks me into the seat and you're not even hard on the gas. That was one thing with that Catalina. That thing would get up and go too. And that was just a 2-barrel on the Catalina, a single exhaust. Yeah, back in the day when my brother worked in the Chrysler dealer, I would buy cars wholesale off the car lot there that had blown engines or bad transmissions, and that yard back here is where I'd always come to buy the used engine or used transmission to flip the car.
Yeah, Memphis is a cool little town.
They put a new traffic light up. It used to have the old school
blinker?
Well, you know, like when one changed, it would go out, and then the next one would
Oh.
come on. You know, real old school one. When I used to come out here. There you go. Does this have a power antenna? No, there's no switch there.
No.
Okay.
It does have a rear defroster though. I think that's what one of those are, I think.
Rear, right there. And that would be a fan back in this era. It wouldn't be the strips on the glass. Yeah, right there. That's the rear defroster. Maybe you got to turn the motor.
Sure it's not one of them. What does that say over here?
That says antenna. This says accessory.
I think
Maybe
it's
that.
accessory. That's it.
Yeah, it's running
blowing
now. Yeah.
Oh, what the heck this is? Rear? Maybe it's rear heat. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, there's a port.
There's a vent back there.
No, that's a dome light. I don't know. Defroster, temperature, air.
Rear. It must have rear
What's
heat.
that rear heat, I guess.
Sometimes they went under the seats. The ductwork went under the air. Because that was available on higher end Pontiacs, like my Catalina didn't.
Yeah.
But if you had a Bonneville, yeah, it would have rear heat.
Yeah, one of these compasses works. It must be this one because it says we're headed south.
Yep.
So.
Probably a speaker magnet or something's messing that one up.
Could be. Never thought of that. You're probably right.
I used to install compasses in boats when I worked in the boat business. And you always had to go around and make sure there wasn't anything that interfered with the magnetism. Are you doing the Harper Cruise again this year?
I'll see. If I do, I'll call you.
Alright, yeah, I was thinking of doing it. It was fun last year.
Usually a pretty good one.
I went to the Van Dyke one this past. It was their first annual. It was alright for the first annual. Keith was there with the 60 Dodge.
Oh, yeah.
He was out cruising last night too on Woodward. I saw him last night. Yeah, you can definitely tell these old cars when they're out of fuel. If fuel gauge stops wiggling, that's when you got to be at the pump. Yeah, this is just about almost the same color the Catalina was.
Yeah. I was out riding yesterday in the Oldsmobile, and I seen a 63 Electra. It's the same color. I wanted him to pull over, but he didn't. And he didn't. Would have liked to.
You might have ended up with another car if you got him pulled.
Yeah, it's too bad about your wagon.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm still a car guy, so I'm still interested. I mean, if I found something like that, like when we drove to look at
the 72 Ford.
The 72,
yeah.
It was just not what it was, you know.
Somebody had washed it with just a harsh detergent and just. I think it needed the hood and roof needed repainting at least.
I wasn't gonna mess with that. If it was the way it was, if it was the way it should have been on a car of that.
Yeah, if it was like when we originally sold the car, yeah.
Right.
It was like a brand new car when we
just
sold
for
it.
the historical connection, you know, just to have.
Riding to the hospital in it and
right.
stuff.
Right there. That's what that, with them stitches right there in that car.
Yeah, I remember that. My dad taking you to the hospital in it.
I don't think I bled all over it. I didn't bleed very much. So.
That car had vinyl seats, so it would have wiped off anyway.
So yeah, good old car. It was from Mount Morris. Was the original owner, lived in Mount Morris, which is just out of Flint.
Yeah.
So, and this thing was built in Flint. So
It's a local Michigan car.
yeah.
Yeah, and you're not really too far from Flint.
No.
About an hour.
I'll go ahead and I'll pull it back in the barn,
Yeah.
I guess.
Got my dad's Cherokee out today. Give it a little run. It's hardly driven anymore.
So yeah, we've been camping quite a bit lately. And I got a 15-year-old camper and I pull it with a 30-year-old truck. Keep my fingers crossed.
Is the truck a diesel?
No, it's
It's
a
a
460 gas.
460, so at least you don't have to worry about head gaskets.
No,
Like that Buick there, your parts car
Yeah.
got moved.
it did. Oh. Oh, you know what? There,
There.
the middle is off.
Okay, one way's low and one way's high.
Yeah, I was going to park my camper back where that Buick was, so I moved the. I actually put tires on the Buick so I could move it around. It was sitting on flat tires. And
If I'd bought that Turnpike Cruiser, I would have bought that Mercury four-door I saw on an estate sale for parts car, but my problem is I don't have space anymore to store stuff, you know. I don't have 44 acres to park cars on anymore. When the El Camino moves, is that when you're in far enough?
yeah. You know, as long as it's when you let it set. Say I'm taking a trip, maybe not that far, but if you were driving a distance where it really got warmed up 100% and then let it set for like 15 minutes, it'd flood. But that'll change when I put that return line in.
Yeah, that'll cure it.
You know, there'll be the original AC set up,
This
which
car
it should
even-
have because it's got AC. you
Yeah,
know?
totally. Even though it's dealer installed,
Right,
it's still
it still
AC,
should
yeah.
have it. You know.
Got remote mirrors even.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Dual remote mirrors.
Well, that door panel was
Kind of
perfect.
surprised. This must have been one of the last years that didn't have seat belts. I was kind of surprised that it didn't.
63, I think 66 is when they
Was it?
started becoming standard.
The Wildcat sign that Howard had made up for me, burned out of steel.
That's to celebrate the 40,000 views on the Wildcat and everyone that wanted to go for a ride in it. Yeah, it's plasma cut. So you got a Cadillac Wildcat.
Yeah, there you go. I'll rivet it on there.
Use some old wood screws, make it
Yeah.
look proper. Hit the like button if you enjoyed my video. If you enjoy my channel, please subscribe, and thank you for watching.